I was just saying, D.
You gonna force me in that conversation? I understand.
With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first episode of the 215 and Up podcast. With us right now, I got my homie D, aka
B Monster. What up, y'all?
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Give it up for the homie and shit.
Longly anticipated. We finally gonna go ahead and get this started. We gonna finally get this started. We gonna finally get this up and going.
I'm in here, hot as shit. D got me sweating. Got my pastor rag, you know what I mean?
Why is he sweating and I got a hoodie on? He got on the t-shirt.
Listen, I see you see all this melanin right here, soaking up all this light right here, soaking up all this sunshine. That's
what you want to call it.
Gotta lose a couple pounds, brother. Back got I've been eating them triple dippers at Chili's. I've been going to Chili's to 3,000 calories.
That's the first problem. You eat that motherfucking Chili's.
And 3,000 calories is catching up to him, brother.
Eating the motherfucking Chili's, man.
Oh,
shit from Chili's. I don't know the last time I've been in the motherfucking Chili's. Where the fuck is the Chili's at?
Don't play Chili's down.
I'm cussing too much.
Don't play Chili's, brother. Chili's be smacking. If you don't want the triple dipper, get the ribs. Get the ribs. They be good. Baby back. All right, D. What we jumping into? What we got going on?
Too young to remember that commercial. Baby back. Let's jump into the LeBron and Stephen A. situation that happened last week.
My glorious king LeBron, aka King James.
You talk about that man like he's Jesus.
They named the Bible after him, the King James version. You know what I'm saying? That's that good word right there, that goat word.
Yeah, that long word. You got to do everything twice to get it done. Listen, the first time.
He been balling since the Bible was being made. That longevity.
Yeah, we still ain't catch up to that man. We ain't gonna start that conversation, but we're gonna talk about Stephen A. He fighting with Stephen A.
Hey man, Stephen A. got a lot of power. He
fighting with Stephen A. So as of last week, you had LeBron James show up on ESPN,
right,
on the Pat McAfee show, to address the situation between him and Stephen A. His feelings as though to the NBA media. But mainly he was talking, the main thing to take from the interview was the situation between him and Stephen A. Where Stephen A. addressed it on First Take, and he said that LeBron wants to manipulate the media when he wants. He brought up Brian Windhorst, who has always been around for LeBron's career from when he was in high school all the way up until he was a pro. And he has always glorified and said how good of a player and that LeBron is his GOAT. LeBron ain't, so we get the story straight. LeBron ain't my GOAT. I got one GOAT, Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
And I'm sure by my little spiel on it, you know who my GOAT is. The true GOAT.
Oh yeah, whatever. And his feelings towards Stephen A. and why he went at Stephen A. in the manner he went at Stephen A. in regards to Bronny. Bronny was on track to be the G League MVP. Yesterday they announced the G League MVP and it was not Bronny. Wasn't nowhere near. How you feel about the LeBron Stephen A. conversation, Brandon?
I think what the situation is, right? I think LeBron did what any father would do in this situation. It's more or less not talking about the sport, but I feel like when it comes down to Stephen A., especially when he talks about LeBron, it always wants to get so personal. Like everything got to get personal when it comes down to Stephen A. speaking about LeBron, and it's crazy to me. You talking about my son, that's fine. You talking about my son in the game and all that basketball, cool. But when you get on national TV and say on a public platform that anybody could watch, that you know gonna get clip farm, that you know you're gonna see on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, I'm coming to you as a father to stop this. That's ridiculous. Because let's be real. When we was kids, no matter what it was, I can't speak for all of us, but majority of our parents, when we played sports or did anything at school, they told us and they always made us feel like we was the best, regardless of the situation. You playing sports, even if you was trash, your parents will always pipe you up. Knowing you ain't got no left hand, pipe you up. Knowing you can't dribble between your legs, they gonna pipe you up. Parents just gonna do that. But then LeBron himself being as great as he is as a basketball player, and then raising a house of athletes, daughter included, they're going to do everything to a high level, and they're being raised around high level of what they do in their profession. Plain and simple. So when you as Stephen A get on the platform and say, I'm coming to you as a father, regardless of LeBron going on there and saying, yeah, Bronny is better than, what he say, 90% of the league, of course a father's going to say that. Of course a father's going to say that. Of course a parent would say that. Especially when you've been around it and he see the things that we don't see. Them playing basketball together. Them playing on the court. Them being on the backyard, whatever their house situation is. Dunking, showing athleticism, going through all the games, watching all the games from the time he was a child and first picked up a ball until now. Of course a father's going to say that. But my problem is, don't get on national TV talk about something coming to you as a father. Mm-hmm. You don't do that. That's my issue with the situation.
Now I'm gonna say Bronny is not currently better than 90% of the league. I'm gonna say that out of my mouth. I do not believe he is better than 90% of the league currently. Can he eventually be better than 90% of the league with training and tutelage? I do believe so. Number one. Number two, I think Bronny should have stayed in school a little bit longer. Nah. I believe he should have stayed in school a little bit longer to foster and tutelize his game before going into the NBA. I think Bronny went into the league because his father forced him to go into the league because the time and clock is ticking on LeBron, and he wants so badly to put his name in the record books as far as playing with his son. Something he could put on the record books that he can't be touched with for the foreseeable future. Will there ever be another father-son duo playing in the league in the NBA at the same time?
Yeah.
There will be.
Yeah.
But right now, is it likely to happen? No.
Nah.
Mainly because LeBron is who he is, and he has played for as long as he's played. LeBron is scheduled to play another 2-3 years, in my opinion.
Could if he wanted to. Yeah, when you great like that, you could do that.
But is that going to, while we talking about it, is that going to hurt or help the Lakers? In my opinion, that's not going to help the Lakers because you're holding on to you're holding on to old yellow.
Even if Bron came off the bench, I mean, shit, he's still gonna be an asset to whatever team he's on. He's not gonna come. He ain't coming off no bench. You talking about? Like, but no, I'm just saying, regardless if he does or not, even if Bron comes off the bench, he's still an asset to teams. Like,
he'll be an asset to the team, but then you gotta take the step back and say, is it okay for me to sit here at the front, sit here in the passenger seat, right next to the driver, or should I be sitting in the back watching the back? He wants to sit in he don't want to sit. He only wants to sit in the passenger seat. He want to drive.
He's shown he can sit in the passenger seat. Get a ball to Luka. When he had Kyrie back with the Cavs, he was sitting in the passenger seat until things get a little dicey. He like, all right, bet, let me turn it up real quick. But I know I got another driver in the car that could take over when I got to take my nap for this long drive we going on. He's shown it before.
On top of that, like, LeBron was drawing. This Philly slang went with the drawing. But he was out of pocket for that video he posted 1 o'clock in the morning to Stephen A with the boxing gloves.
Yo, man, when you get personal, I get personal.
After the man said he gonna slap the shit out of it. Make sure anybody out there watch that video. He said if that man would put his hand, I would slap the shit. And then he posted that video. That was disrespectful.
You did it to yourself, brother. You did it for millions to see. I'm gonna post this on my Instagram for millions to see. Tit for tat. Tit for tat.
Don't ever in your life go out and say you're gonna smack the shit out of somebody when there is video evidence that you cannot throw your hands. Don't ever in your life do that. That I don't think that is conducive to your health.
And that clip was from a while ago, so you know he ain't no better now.
That clip was only one. That clip ain't no more than a year old though, bro.
You know he ain't no faster and stronger now. Why would you do that?
He couldn't. It was. He was.
Sore as shit the next day. You know? Sore as shit the next day. You talking crazy. I would have smacked this. Shut the fuck up, Stephen A.
I would have put my hands. Yo, LeBron, what, 6'9", 6'7"?
Pushing 240, 250? Like, come on, man.
He built like a linebacker.
Built like Megatron.
You barely fit your suit. And you tell me you gonna put your hands.
Come on, Stephen A.
Slow it down.
But let's reel it in. What was your take on what Stephen A had going on and what Brian got going on?
I think LeBron's attack on Stephen A was the high defective, no matter of the way the Lakers are playing and the Luka Doncic trade. It was a media shift. You was just trying to control the media and what was being said in the media about the Lakers and LeBron as a whole. Mm-hmm. Over the past couple months, in my opinion, I ain't heard too much about Bronny. I haven't heard too much about Bronny since the draft.
Last thing I really... No, they been talking about him. He dropped the 17 against the Bucks. They didn't even know the Lakers lost. Shout out to Bronny, dropped a 17. And then his G League game, he dropped almost 40. I believe it was 39 points.
He dropped 39 points.
Yeah, he been cooking. And he had a couple games dropping 20 on him in the G League.
He's scoring points. Emphasis on why I'm gonna say it again. I think he should have stayed at USC. You should go fighting Trojans.
No, only reason why I disagree is if he was putting up the numbers that he's putting up in the NBA in the G League, I would agree with that. But he's balling in the G League as well. He's not just going out there putting up 5-6 points in the G League. He's doing way better in the G League than he was in his short stint in college. But
I think he should have. Only reason I say he should have stayed in college because he should have utilized a professional coach or a good mentor from the college level to tutelize the game. You ain't got to. The kid got money.
Yeah, it ain't about getting paid.
It wasn't about getting paid. It wasn't no rush to get to the money. Your father is LeBron James.
Yeah, you're gonna be all right.
Your father is a billionaire still playing on the court.
Right.
Your father you don't need the money. Mm-mm. But to sustain and keep the money going is to make sure you protect your assets. And the asset right now is playing ball. I think he should have stayed in college a little bit longer so he could be even better of a player than what he is now.
But how much more professional? Like how much more professional can you get than the assets you gain from being in the NBA? The personal trainers, the what do they call the not the medical crew, but like the people that help you stretch and make sure you're taking care of your body. Like how much more? That was crazy. That was crazy, but like how much more professional can you get at like you play in college when you play in college to make it your next step is the NBA. How much more professional can you get with the medical staff and all that in college?
It's all about the teaching. It's all about the teacher and the mentor.
You get all that. You got JJ Redick as your coach.
JJ Redick is a brand new coach. JJ Redick, what? Okay.
He was in the A.
You brought up JJ.
He was in the A.
Okay, what has JJ done?
Played in the NBA.
What else? What accolades does JJ have? Now I have nothing against JJ Redick.
What
accolades does JJ Redick have? Have JJ Redick ever won a championship as a player?
No. But was he around great players? Yes.
He was around great players, but was he around championship caliber players?
I would say yeah.
Why? Because he was on a podcast with LeBron?
No, but he was.
That is now a podcast with Steve Nash, another person who has yet to be in championship caliber coach,
but was still balling.
He was balling.
Like
MVP, he's an MVP
you don't gotta
level.
be a champion, and to like not being a champion doesn't discredit all the knowledge you've gained throughout his years.
That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is JJ Redick is still learning at his job
As a coach.
As a coach, he
Yes.
was never assistant coach.
No,
he was never. He wasn't. He was never like Eric Spoelstra in the back with the videotapes.
No,
making sure they all rewind. Because that's all. See, I'm gonna go into another subject. That's all Eric Spoelstra did. He made sure when they returned the tapes, they was rewind for Pat Riley.
That's Pat. Fuck out of here. It's Pat we talking about.
That was the real Heat culture. But
I was gonna start. Hey, Gil, if you see this, we don't want to talk about no Heat culture around here.
he made sure the tapes was rewind. But JJ Redick was the man in Duke. JJ Redick was the man at the Sixers for a little bit. JJ Redick was the man on the Pelicans for a little bit. JJ Redick was the man on ESPN who sat across from Stephen A.
Cooking them.
But what says JJ Redick is top elite coach?
It's a lot that goes into. So coaching to me is a position, and just like it's things he lacks as a coach, maybe on the coaching side of things, he makes up for with the being an actual player, knowing how the game goes, knowing how the work ethic should be, knowing the right mindset that you could have. He don't got to necessarily be the greatest coach, but he understands some parts of the game that most coaches just doesn't understand. They're not going to understand. The coaches that didn't play, the coaches that wasn't out there to actually take the shots and to have be coach, he makes up for what he lacks maybe on the coaching side of things, being an ex-NBA player. I think he makes up for that more than enough. When it come down to coaching somebody like Bronny, we don't know if he's having specific one-on-one time, team time, but Bronny gets to see that culture because he has a coach like JJ Redick. Now, could you imagine Bronny being in a situation with his dad with a rookie head coach, or Bronny being in a situation where he didn't have his dad with a JJ Redick? I think his development would still go along the way. If he had a rookie coach, ain't no telling what Bronny's career might turn into, or if he'll even be there. But having JJ Redick is an asset on top of all the other things that come with being in the NBA. Minus having your dad be on your team, even if LeBron was on a different team or Bronny got drafted to a different team, I still think he would have made out good. But I think it's so much better with him having JJ Redick as a head coach.
We're gonna agree to disagree on that one. JJ Redick is still learning his job and his role as a head coach.
Yeah, that's the behind the scenes.
I think it's
stuff.
harder for JJ to learn his job and his role as a head coach, mainly because he was never an assistant coach.
We'll see how this play out, man.
Because if you look back over it, and you look at a lot of the straight to from player to head coach coaches, they all struggled. Steve Nash, he went from retirement head coach.
Look how that turned out.
Jason Kidd. He went from retirement to head coach, where he's walking on the court with the cup of water, spilling it on the floor, trying to get
that's smart. Trying to get extra time out. That's smart.
Extra time out.
Now imagine what he was doing on the court. Yo, you gotta do a couple things to make some things happen.
So we gonna bring that back. You said that was smart, right?
That was smart.
Spilling a little
to try to get an extra time out.
To get an extra time out.
Yeah, most coaches wouldn't be smart enough to do that.
You ever seen Phil Jackson do that?
No, but I also know the players that Phil Jackson played with.
You ever see Phil Jackson?
Jason Kidd ever played with a Michael Jordan or a Kobe? I mean, not Phil Jackson. Did Jason Kidd ever play with a Michael Jordan or a Kobe?
Yeah.
Who he played with that was that caliber?
Yeah, he played with them type of people. He played with Dirk.
No, I'm talking about coach. As a coach, did he have a Kobe or Michael Jordan on the court? No, no. So yeah, he gotta finagle some things to make it happen. Yes, 100%.
No.
You think he gonna do that if he got a Jordan or a Kobe on the court balling for him as the coach? He might not be in a position to need to do that.
I give you that.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Gotta look at the whole picture. That's a little wild.
I digress from that.
Yo, man, shout out to Bron. Shout out to Bronny, man. Keep balling. Keep doing y'all thing. Shout out to JJ. I'm not a Lakers fan. I just bang with y'all. Make that clear. You know what I mean?
Garbage.
Yeah, I ain't taking it personal.
Let's go to football real quick. Let's talk about the New York Giants.
Things getting juicy. Right.
So over the past 2 weeks, they have signed 2 high caliber starting quarterback, 2 starter caliber quarterbacks. You got Jameis Winston, and he signed Sierra's husband. That's what he known as, Sierra's husband.
Broncos country. Let's ride.
Well, it's Giants country now. Let's. I don't even know what to say to that one. What do you say? Let's stomp him. But he got signed for $10.5 million 1-year deal with $21 million in incentives.
Damn.
Before this, the projection during the NFL season was that there was a possibility that the Giants, with the 3rd pick of the NFL draft, to select Shedeur Sanders.
Shout out Shedeur.
My question, and one of the topics I want to bring up right now on the podcast is, do you think with them having Jameis Winston, Russell Wilson, and don't forget they got the dude, Mr. DeVito. Mr. DeVito.
All right.
He might playing for the Giants in New York. He might off you with the fishes and all that good stuff.
Damn.
Do you still do the Giants still draft Shedeur Sanders? And if they draft Shedeur, what position does that put that kid in as far as his NFL career?
Shit.
My opinion, they still draft him, but you're gonna have a real big quarterback controversy in that locker room with Russell Wilson and Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah, 100%.
Shedeur is pretty much like his father, and I watch his father, the GOAT, at the DB position.
See how quiet I am? I ain't talking no whoops with this.
That man was something that was back in the day when I was a kid. They used to ask Dion, what would you like, baseball or football? You say both.
Both of them.
That was Mr. Both Ways.
Hey, yo.
He's just
Hey, yo. God damn.
I ain't even think about that.
Hey, hold on, brother.
Total violation on that one, but damn. But can Russell help tutelize Shedeur, or Shedeur that much better? In my opinion, I think Shedeur is already levels above Russell Wilson. I'm gonna flat out say it right now. Shedeur is levels above Russell Wilson. Shedeur is levels above Jameis Winston.
You mean that their career points right now, or just overall?
Right now.
All right.
At this present moment. At this present moment.
Okay.
Not career wise, Shedeur can help and wish to be at the caliber that Russell Wilson is at.
Yeah.
With the Super Bowl MVP awards and accolades. Mm-hmm. Right now, Shedeur, in my opinion, is a way better quarterback than both Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson put together. Going on to that Giants field.
Damn, that's a hot take, ain't it? Shit. Whew. That's a hot take right there, D.
I'm just saying, like, Russell Wilson ain't been good since before Broncos country. Let's ride.
No argument there.
Now, I'm going piggyback on that. The coaching scheme he walked into at the Broncos country. Let's ride was not conducive to his play style, or was not conducive to his style of play.
Right.
As we later found out when that that coaching staff all got fired after 1 year of being with that team. They left from that team, went to the Jets, and they still don't got jobs. They got fired from there after 1 year, even after they got Aaron Rodgers.
That shit burns me the fuck out, man. Don't be firing me because give me some time. Shit, it's my first year.
This is the NFL we live in, day and age.
Shit, with an old head ass quarterback. God damn, it ain't like I got prime Aaron Rodgers and it's my first year and I fucked up. No, man, this motherfucker, you got Percocet Rodgers on the field, and you want me to? Come on, I need more than a year.
That's all they got.
Damn, you gotta give me time, man.
Now,
shit.
Another question I wanna ask is, did they sign these two free agent quarterbacks because they do not want to select Shedeur Sanders? And if you do not select him, is it because he decided to not perform at the combine or do anything of that nature? Now, I know where you got that from because I was alive and I was a kid when Deion got drafted. He didn't perform at the combine. He went the first three.
Yeah.
What you think, babe?
I think it's a little different. First off, talk about Shedeur and his whole situation that he's in. I think it's a little different, man, because his pops already stated that he gonna be a little guidance in what goes down with selections and stuff. So I think that plays a big role in it as well. But when it come down to them signing the two quarterbacks, I think even if they do sign Shedeur, I think like how the Steelers had Russell Wilson and what's my man's name? That's not homie.
Trey Lance?
No. The boy that came, the backup quarterback that was starting, then he rotated. What's his name? Justin Fields. Right? I could see some type of thing like that going down. You let Russell go out there a couple games, start, see what he could do, and then if the season go into shit, boom, Shedeur, you the starter now, get some reps in, see how it turn out. My only problem with that is, well, the only projected problem I see with that is that Deion might not be going for no shit like that, man. Honestly, I think if anything, Shedeur included would like to be on a team where he could walk in the door and start. And he don't want to take no backseat. He want to get in there and get all his reps. And had an attitude like, depending on what team drafted him, y'all wasn't winning anyway. You might as well let me get my time. You might as well let me get my reps. So why go out your way to sign a Russell Wilson and a Jameis Winston? Jameis Winston gonna do his thing wherever he go. When he get in, he gonna sink or swim, man. He gonna throw you 30 touchdowns and he gonna throw you dirty picks. You know what you getting when you sign Jameis Winston.
He's a hell of a motivational speaker.
That too. That brother be having me ready to put the money in the basket. You know what I'm saying? Well, Brother Winston. That's you moving forward, Brother Winston. See these W's. We eat them. Pause. Hey yo. Anyway, but you know what you getting when you get Jameis Winston. It's Russell Wilson at this point in his career. You're not sure what you're gonna get. Is it gonna be another bust like Aaron Rodgers, or is he gonna turn up because he started to get hot when he was in Pittsburgh?
I'm on the fence with that one. I'm on the fence with that one, and I really feel as though they are going to back out of drafting Shedeur. I also feel as though Deion, who has already spoken and said that I'm going to select where my son go, and he's going to pull
A lot of pressure on teams, man.
He's going to put a lot of pressure, like the same amount of pressure we saw with Eli Manning and his father. Eli was drafted to the Chargers, and his father.
Saw that? Swoop, swoop. Boom, on the Giants.
Soon as he was drafted by the Chargers, he got on the phone like, "My son's not coming to play. You either trade him, or he's gonna sit out, or he's gonna play for the CFL."
Now hold on, time out. Pause right there, real quick. Right? Was motherfuckers talk about nepotism? Never mind. Go ahead, D.
Go ahead.
Was motherfuckers talk about nepotism and shit back when that shit was going down?
Well, that was the first time something like that ever happened.
You know what I mean? Nobody was crying nepotism then.
They crying nepotism now because...
Come on, man, because they haters. We know what the real is.
You want to say haters, I don't know what they crying nepotism about, but I feel as though they crying nepotism because of whose son it is They know the way his father already is. His father, when he was going into the draft, he said, I was only going to 1, 2, or 3. And y'all gonna pay me. He said it on national news, sitting on a couch with his mama with about 20 gold chains and the stunner shades on. He said it straight up. I'm going to 1, 2, and 3.
Right.
And you shouldn't expect no less, no different from Deion with him saying that I'm going to be involved in where my son gets to go at the end of the day because I want what's best for my I want what's best for my child. You got to understand it.
Yeah, as a father, you want what's best for your kids. You see what I'm getting at? See what I'm getting at? As a father, you want what's best for your kids. Yeah.
It's only one thing. There's
Stephen
only one.
A.
Yeah. Oh shit.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, D.
W's in the
Fuck Stephen A. You ever seen Stephen A. walk through a room? That motherfucker walk like Jiminy Cricket.
We was done.
That shit just popped in my head. That motherfucker walked. He told me he gonna smack the shit out of somebody.
Fuck out of here.
That's why.
Fuck out of here. You know what I mean?
And while we on the subject, I mean, we gonna swing right over to Deion Sanders this week. Congratulations to Mr. Primetime Deion Sanders.
Yeah.
All claps.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Shout out Deion, man. Shout out Deion.
He signed a 5-year, $54 million contract extension.
Damn.
He took the Colorado Buffaloes from a 1-11 record to bowl contention.
Mm-hmm. He did. Shout out to Colorado.
I just want to throw this out there. Deion, through his professional athlete, so emphasis on professional athletes. So Deion is one of the only athletes to play both baseball and football at the same time and make millions of dollars. Mm-hmm. So over his professional athlete career, Deion made a total of $48 million.
Damn.
That's just his professional athlete. That's not ad endorsed. That's not including endorsements.
Brand deals.
That's not including brand deals. That's not including when
commercials.
That's not including commercials. That's not including when he worked for NFL Network. He just signed a $54 million 5-year deal extension.
Yeah. Shout out to him, man. Shout out to
5 years. And Deion played for a total of at least 8 to 12 years in the NFL and MLB. He only made $48 million doing that. Shout out to Deion. Congratulations.
Yeah, hell yeah. Clap that shit up,
man. Well deserved. Because before Deion Sanders, and I am a USC Trojan fan, Pac-12.
Trojans.
I never knew who the Colorado Buffaloes was until Deion walked into a Colorado Buffaloes locker room.
Yeah.
So he put the Colorado Buffaloes back on the mat. He put the Colorado Buffaloes back in the college football discussion. And Deion, flat out, in my opinion, owns the transfer portal for the football side of the NCAA every year. I don't even think Deion looks at recruitments to get off the street anymore after Travis Hunter. I think Deion and his coaching staff, and we're gonna get to the coaching staff in real quick because the coaching staff is crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, got some powerhouses.
Star-studded. Is practically the National Football Hall of Fame on the sideline.
You don't think that? Yeah, that could add some pressure though. You know what I mean? That
Well,
could add some pressure.
The other question and the other thing I want to look at, I want to have a discussion about is, can Deion produce without Shador, Travis, and Shiloh? Number one.
Yeah.
With the coaching additions he's made, you got Marshall Faulk, running back coach. You took Byron Leftwich, who was next in line to become head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at one point.
Right.
He is your offensive coordinator and QB coach. Still got Warren Sapp.
Yeah, big Sapp.
And more coaching announcements to come. Can the Colorado Buffaloes not right now with this money that Deion has just got put in front of him? Congratulations again.
Shout out to him.
He's got to do more. In my opinion, he's got to do more than just make it to a bowl game.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%.
He
100%.
got to produce within these 5 years.
He's going to produce.
He got to produce a national championship for the Colorado Buffalo.
I give it, a national championship now. I give it the whole stint. Now, produce as in shit, being in the playoffs and making a run, I give him 2 years.
You give him 2 years?
Yeah, I give him 2-3 years tops. To make a national championship, I think he's going to need all the time he got.
I think I give him 3.
For national championship or just playoff run?
I gave him 3, and I think that's too long. I think he can do it in 1 year.
Yeah?
I think he can do it in 1 year. If he don't do it this year, he can do it the following year because the coaching additions that he keeps making year after year, and if he has another good year, he's gonna get more He's gonna get more coaches. He's gonna get more opportunities in the transfer portal.
That's gonna be the biggest thing. I know we put a lot of expectations on the coaches, but damn, you gotta look at what you got. You know what I mean? You can be the greatest chef in the world, but if you got a microwave, how great the meal gonna be? You know what I mean? It takes a lot of that. It take a lot of assets to get players. You're gonna need some great players. You can make some great players, but you know what I mean? If you got a microwave, yeah, you could be the head chef, top chef in the world, but if you only got a microwave, you know what I mean? How great is this meal finna really be? It's gonna be like, oh, it's all right, but it ain't up to its full potential. It would be like that. That's how coaches are. Like,
how great is this meal? Oh my god!
You see the analogy though? Like, you could be the greatest coach, but if you still need to have the right ingredients to make sure this shit work. And sometimes you might not have the ingredient that you necessarily need, but you got enough talent around it, or you got enough that you could like build around that you could make something happen.
I think the coaching staff moves that he continues to make is going to give him the right ingredients every time.
Well, yeah, shit. Who wouldn't want to play with Deion or Warren Sapp or anybody else on the damn coaching staff?
These kids, and when these kids' parents hear these names that they're going to be coaching around, they're gonna be playing under.
Yeah,
their parents are going, you going over here because I want you to go to the NFL. This person been to the NFL. They in the National Football Hall of Fame. You're gonna go learn from this person. They know what they talk about. They not just talking to you.
That's how I feel about Bronny with JJ Redick.
What you care?
You see what I mean? That's how I feel about Bronny and JJ Redick. Yeah, like shit. But no, like I feel like the clock is ticking for Deion. The clock's ticking. People gonna want more. They like, all right, you had your first year, get things right, move out the bag, pulling some good, that type of thing. Then you had your second year, y'all made a push, y'all did y'all thing, made it to the bowl game, and now it's like, all right, now he's signed extension for what, 5 years? Mm-hmm. He's been on the clock, but now he's really on the clock. It's like, all right,
you only been there 2 years.
I know.
2 years. You've been there 2 years.
You've been there 2 years, and now you just lost.
You lost 3. You lost your Heisman Trophy winner. Mm-hmm. You lost your
starting quarterback for how long?
Quarterback
/ son.
That been with you your whole coaching career. The reason you have a coaching career, only reason he started coaching was to make sure that his son was learning the right things at the high school level. He's been coaching as Shador since he was in high school.
Yeah. Shit, earlier than that.
Shador got a scholarship because at Jackson State, and I don't know how. You can fact check me. I don't know if I'm right or wrong. Shador went to Jackson State because of Deion.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things
he lost a couple heavy hitters. Jimmy Horn. He lost a couple heavy hitters.
Jimmy Horn.
Yeah.
Who else he lost?
That's just the names that I could say off the dome right now. But he lost some heavy hitters.
They all projected to go into the draft. Will they get drafted? We don't know.
If y'all do, shout out to y'all, man. I believe in y'all.
They all have submitted their applications to enter the draft.
Right.
The question is, what is he going to do without him?
He'll be all right. He gonna like I said, man, his name and that coaching staff holds weight. All that factors in, and now you got the portal in the play, bro. Who's not gonna want to come there? Granted, the ones that's not strictly focused on the NIL deals, because not everybody on the damn team is gonna get a fucking NIL deal. They're not going to get NIL.
Under Dion, they all get NIL deal.
They'll get something, but you mean to tell me
he already came out and said it, and you can fact check me again.
No, they can get something, but you mean to tell me if LSU, Bama, or somebody call you and say, yo, you can make this here, Dion and that coaching staff might be the only reason why they stay.
Oh,
if it's strictly about the money. You know what I mean? You're going to get some genuine players where it's not just about the money. Now it's strictly about the coaching and the staff and the environment that you got. Like, boom. And you'll feel like it's like a level of like prestige. Yo, I got to play for Dion. I got to play for Sapp. I got to play for this coaching staff. I got to play for this establishment. Because of the folks that's there, it's a level of prestige that come with that. Mm-hmm. And everybody be preaching, you know, all the great colleges there are that's out there. You know what I mean?
I don't even think people give a care about the colleges no more.
Not no more. Not with NILs. But shit, people used to go strictly to Bama for Saban.
Yeah, they like a lot of people went to. Yeah, a lot of people went to Alabama just for Nick Saban.
Yeah,
even when Nick Saban was at LSU, they went to LSU. Yeah. A lot of people go to LSU not for the coach. They go to wear that purple and gold. A lot of people go to Penn State for the prestige. Mm-hmm. But all these other schools, a lot of these other schools, they go for them NIL deals now.
Yeah, like these schools that nobody used to want to go to, but they played for because they got scholarships too. Mm-hmm. They got chances to be powerhouses now. They got chances if the money right, they got a chance to actually do something instead of all the great players around the country going to the same schools constantly. Now you got a chance.
And when I was growing, because I'm a little bit older than you,
a little bit.
When I was growing up, it was about 5 schools. Mm-hmm. USC Trojans, Notre Dame Irish, it was Penn State, mm-hmm. Alabama was one. Alabama wasn't as thriving as it has been in the Nick Saban years.
Bama.
It was also the Razorbacks,
mm-hmm.
and then there was the U. Those was the schools that you heard constantly over the NCAA broadcast. You constantly heard on ESPN,
yeah,
without question.
Right.
Nowadays, there's so many other schools that you hear. You hear Ohio State came up into prominence.
Boise.
In my teenage years, Boise.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't heard too much about Boise.
Stanford.
Boise was always, the field looks cool.
Right. Yeah, that's how I knew him. The field. You got fucking Michigan.
Yeah, Michigan, and a lot of athletes go to Oregon just so they can get some nice sneakers to wear
and they had the dopest uniforms and helmets.
That's all.
And they pulled out the Silver Jones.
That's all thanks to the almighty Phil Knight. Shout out to Phil Knight Nike. Yeah. Shout out to Phil Knight Nike. Right on.
Bron signed to Nike. Shout out to Bron. No. Let me stop glazing this man. Motherfuckers gonna be like, yo, man, all he do was glaze Bron.
Yeah, he signed to Nike because of the Michael Jeffrey.
Money talks. That's all I'm saying. Children, if you watching this, money talk.
Okay.
Money talk.
Okay. You never see Michael Jeffrey wearing LeBrons.
You don't see Michael Jeffrey now.
Yeah, but he wear Jordans.
I would wear my own shoes too. Shit. Let me get a pair of shoes that nobody else wore, but I made my own. They like, damn, boy, what's those? Yo, these the Brand X Brands 12s right here. You know what I mean?
That's why LeBron be walking around with them all.
Anyway. No, but back to the shout out to Dion, man, getting that contract.
Congratulations.
We was talking about the bread, right? Mm-hmm. And you said he made X amount of dollars when he was playing versus X amount of dollars.
He made $46 million when he after his whole athlete career.
Yeah,
he just made $54 million contract extension.
Damn.
For the Colorado Buffaloes. Now that does not include his salary from Jackson State.
Yeah.
And that does not include his salary for the past 2 years at Colorado.
Damn, Dion, let me get $1, brother. Or a pair of shoes, something. Damn. That's good money right there. Let me make that type of money.
It's a wonderful thing to see another black man win.
Yeah. Real
Not
rap.
just him, but he got his whole family involved in that.
Right. Shout out to all
That
that.
is a beautiful, beautiful thing.
I'm trying to make dollars like that. Damn. Whew.
If I make some money like that, I might give it all away because I like hanging out with my homies and shit like that too much. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll give it away to my family and kids. Shit. You know what I mean? And if you here with it, you and the family, you be all right. That's a lot of bread.
Yeah.
That's crazy how he made that much just with the coaching thing that he did over his whole. But that, like you said, that's just him playing his contract. That's still crazy.
That's not
Thinking about the
endorsements.
contracts now versus the contracts back then. It's like, oh shit.
Yo, look, I was watching something on Instagram. I forget the guy's name. The guy that became a billionaire working for Wendy's and all that. What was it?
Damn.
He used to play professional basketball. He said the actual salary for the entire NBA at one point was only $120 million. That includes coaches, starters, bench players, and everyone.
Damn. Makes sense though, but damn.
That is a year's salary for the entire NBA.
You got motherfuckers making that now in 2-3 years.
What's his SGA? What was his contract?
Shea Gill?
Yeah, what you got, like 130?
Shit. Something like that. And then JT fucking 300 mil. Super Max, these Super Maxes and shit. These motherfuckers is getting paid.
Go back to Russell Wilson. He got 10.5 million, 21 million in incentives.
His incentives is higher than his fucking contract. Shit. You know he about to try to play his heart out. That'd be another thing. Just to jump back on that topic real quick. That'd be another thing. That motherfucker want to start off the rip to get that.
Shador ain't not gonna try and let Shador play.
Shit.
If
21
they
mil,
draft-
sit the fuck down. I got it.
If they draft the young man.
Yeah.
And another
I don't
thing,
think they are.
If we go back to that, let's go back to that. Do they say, I'm not going to draft Shador, let's take Travis? My opinion, Travis is going in the top 2.
Seriously, you think so?
Yes.
I feel like he should though. You get 2 for 1 with him.
Yes.
You get 2 for 1 when you pick Travis.
You could build a whole franchise around that young man if he stays healthy, and he doesn't show any possibility of not playing healthy.
Shit, all that damn chirostatin and shit he be doing. He be alright. Icing and soaking.
But you need to leave the young lady alone.
Let's get down to the real. Trav, I know you deleted all your social medias and shit like that. Leave that shorty alone, dog. Leave her alone. Go watch a Medea movie. For the streets. I ain't got no sound effect for that, but she for the streets.
I get some of that. She for the streets. She for the streets.
Leave shorty alone, brother. Go off and be happy, man. Go off and be happy. You got money now.
Yeah, you got money. You might as well. You
don't gotta settle no more, brother.
You might as well buy her iced out street sign around her neck with her name on it, cause she for the streets.
Damn.
She for the streets.
Oh my God. See, I ain't say all that now. I'm just saying, brother, you might as well just go ahead. You got a little money now, you know what I mean? Got your teeth right. And go ahead, do your thing, brother. Do your thing. Make somebody proud. Get somebody that's gonna want you. That's gonna need you.
Man, focus on your game, brother.
That's gonna be that's top priority. But if you gotta deal with somebody, yo, man, talk to Deion about it. You see his situation.
Focus on your game. Man,
talk to Prime about it.
You talk to Prime, he gonna tell you get in that Bible. Get in that Bible with him. Leave her alone. Hold on, let's talk about Travis Hunter again and this young lady. I'm sorry. You say he just got the money. No, he been had the money. And the motherfucker walk around in pajamas.
Yeah.
He walk around in pajamas and he happy to walk around in pajamas.
With his TikTok dances. I wish I could do that too.
TikTok dances.
Yeah. Yeah, to the boss man D-Lo. Some when you twerking, baby. I never where you working, baby.
B. Hold on.
Big living. You know what I mean?
Hold on. The motherfucker already had the money and he walking around pajamas and then he go spend money on his teeth.
He been had the teeth. He had the teeth for a while now. His teeth wasn't always like that. That's what the shorty said. His teeth wasn't always like that. That's just what shorty said. Teeth wasn't always like that.
Travis Hunter, I'm a fan. I got no malice against you, young man, but this don't sound right. You need to leave that young lady alone.
They been together for a while. You know, when you get your first real.
That don't mean shit.
That thing must be powerful.
What thing?
That thing got him in the chokehold. That thing put the grip on it. put the fucking that thing. He slid up in that thing. Looked back. He said, "Listen."
You ever see Harlem Nights?
Yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Delary said, I got a bitch. Her pussy's so good and throw it up. It's better than the sunshine.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? That's what Travis got a piece of. He got a piece of that thing.
He got a piece of that
Lauryn Hill,
sunshine.
That thing. Everybody loves the sunshine. Yes, he got a piece of that.
Yo. He got a piece of that. You know what the sunshine like. Lord,
that's why I can't let it go, man. He can't let it go. Everybody know what it's like when you young like that, real young. You get a little, you know what I mean? You get that first one that just gets you. They just get you.
Just get you? Well, how they get you? What that mean?
They lock it up on you. They put the grippers on them. What's it called? The Kegels? They lock them Kegels. Because it grip it, you know, when it's in there, it just it ain't letting go. That bear trap, it just, you know what I'm saying? That's why I can't let it go, man. He signed this shit, and she like, well, shit, when we getting out of here? Yeah, hold on, baby, let me sign a couple more. She put that grip on him. You know what I mean? He can't let go. It's all right. There's plenty more out there, brother. There's plenty more out there. You be all right.
Yeah, there's plenty more out there. Yeah. He gonna see him at every away game.
Yup.
Listen, I
talk to Dion. Talk to Dion. Talk to all the other athletes. They know.
I was dancing with the devil. That's my man Dion. I was dancing with the devil.
You know what I mean?
Travis, you better go to Bible study with Brian.
You might listen. If you know church like I know church, you gonna find some in there. Let me. All right. Hey, edit that out. Edit that out. Edit that out.
All right, I said I wasn't gonna talk about it. You done brought up churches. I said I wasn't gonna touch it. Let's talk about Marvin Sapp.
All right, go ahead. Let's talk about it. I got some new info on him and what was really going down and what the situation was. Yeah, I mean, some people that enlightened me on the whole situation. So with the Marvin Sapp situation, man, I don't give a fuck. I don't know how true this shit is. Apparently, it wasn't a church service. It was an event, and they was trying to raise money or whatever to pay for the event that was going on. He was saying, and y'all seen the clips on the internet saying, "Close the doors, close the doors." He gave a dollar amount of $40,000 with the 1,000 people that was in attendance and the 1,000 people that was online watching, and everybody get $20. You do the math, that equals 40,000. That was the situation. But the biggest thing was the close the doors, and then to bring the baskets up to the front. That was the situation. And now everybody got their whole takes on that. I got my own takes on that. We gonna get into it. D, what you got? What you got, D?
No, you started off. Marvin.
Listen, I go to church, been to church, all that. I've never been in a situation where a person had to tell me or ask of me a specific number of how much to give. I don't care if it was $20. I don't care if it was $1. If you say the goal of $40,000 and then you start breaking it down mathematically, if that's the case, anytime you go to give and whatever the fundraiser might be or whatever the situation might be for the goal amount of what you're trying to get for that moment, right? You don't sit there and tell the people on top of close the doors, telling the ushers to close the doors. You don't do that. When you go to give, and God loves a cheerful giver, you don't sit there and set a dollar amount for each individual to give. They say, oh, give 10%, oh, 10%, all that good stuff. That's what's up. Do what you can and do it for the feelings that you have amongst yourself. Don't do it because of what my status might be as the person on the mic saying it. Do it because it's what you want to do. Give the amount because that's what you want to do. And that's it, period. Don't sit there and say, if I was in a place and I could say, we're raising $50,000, and then I get an estimate of how many people in the room, and I break it down mathematically and say, everybody in here, if you give $3.50 specifically, we can raise this amount. It's going to be people at church that give the amount that they can. It's going to be people at church that gives the amount that they want. And that's it. You might say a number of $20. You might have a number in your head, but don't dictate or put out there how much money should be given based off the amount of people in the room. I don't care what my status is. You don't know what my status is. You don't know my bank account. I'm going to give because I feel as though this is what's right and what I can do, and leave it at that. Don't lock the doors. I'm sorry, he didn't say lock the doors. Don't close the doors. You can do whatever you want. I'm going to give whatever I want. But when you start getting extra, I ain't got time for that. Now, I might be more willing to give less. Not about the situation that's going on. Not about the house of the Lord that I'm in. It's about what you just said now. Now you put me in a situation. And that's my take on that, man. That's my take on that.
All right, I'm going to put a disclaimer out before I say what I got to say. Just a disclaimer. I am a PK. For those of you who do not grow up in the African American church, that means I am a preacher's kid. I am the oldest of three, and I am a preacher's kid. And
shout out to Pops, man.
I love my pop to death. Thank you for my name. I get my name from my dad, all that good stuff. I've been in churches where I've witnessed. Now, I'm not saying I disagree with what happened. I'm not saying I'm against what happened. I'm just going to say what's on my mind, okay? I've been in churches, and you're going to see, if you already seen the intro, you've seen us in here clowning and laughing around. I've been in churches where I've heard them say, lock the door.
Oh, shit.
For offering. I've been in churches where they say everybody must walk during the offering. And that is to imply that everybody puts something in the plate. I've been in churches where, just like Mr. Marvin Sapp did in front of their congregation, I need X amount of people to give X amount. And they will, and I've seen preachers stand there and wait till X amount of people give X amount, where it's like it's putting you under pressure. I don't agree with the putting people under pressure to give to the Lord. And it says in scripture, you come as you are.
Yes.
It doesn't say you, it says you tithe 10%. It does say you tithe 10%. You're supposed to tithe 10%, but it also says you come as you are. Jesus came as he was. Jesus came with his sandals in his bathrobe. I don't think he ever shaved. He don't eat no pork. I don't think he ever combed his hair. I know he washed he took more pride in washing his feet than a lot of things. But I don't agree with I need 20 people to give 20 I need 20 people to give $20.
No, 1,000 people there to get 20 and 1,000 people online. Yeah. He said it's 1,000 people in here and 1,000 online. If everybody give $20, that's what he said.
I don't agree with making those financial statements in front of a group full of people.
And then the people on the pulpit give $100 because it pays to be up here. It costs to be up here.
Now, for him to say that for the people on the pulpit, I'm a firm believer in leadership.
Lead by example.
I am a firm believer of leadership and lead by example.
I can live with that.
So if he's saying to the people in the congregation to give, and then he turns to the people who are supposed to be the leaders to give a certain amount, I can agree with you on that. But at the same time, it's a touchy subject at this point in time with the economy, with the way jobs are going. You got the dude Trump, or whatever his name is. I don't even want to entertain his name on here, because we walking through laying people off left and right, and it's not just Trump. It's all these companies. They laying people off left and right, and for you to just sit there and say, I need 1,000 people to give $20, so we can raise 40,000. And this is my opinion, and this is how I feel. I don't think you should get in front of a congregation like that and say stuff like that and say dollar amounts, because you don't know what's on somebody's mind in their congregation.
Right. You don't know what's going on in their life.
You don't know what's going on in their life. For you to throw a dollar amount out like that in front of that congregation, in front of those people, you putting everybody in there in a bad position and in jeopardy, in my opinion. And that's only because I might be a PK, but I spend a lot of time in the streets and I spend a lot of time around a lot of people. I got friends that you say a dollar amount around them, they thinking of a way to fucking get a lick. Excuse me. Y'all bringing up how much in every day? Hey, yo, we about to go around here.
First Sunday. First Sunday.
That's how the whole movie go down.
First Sunday.
I don't think you should do that. Now, if you trying to raise some money to do something for a certain situation in the neighborhood, that's fine and dandy. But I don't think you should be shouting out dollar amounts. I don't agree with the dollar amounts.
Yeah, let people give what they gonna give.
Number one. Number two, if you gonna say 20 people give this amount, everybody in that congregation ain't doing the math, and everybody in the congregation ain't sitting there like, yo,
Right.
It's only certain ones with that type of shit on their mind and that type of situation on their mind. You give to the Lord, you give unto the Lord joyfully.
Yes.
And that's how you're supposed to do it. That's the scripture. I don't know the scripture off the top of my head.
Yo, man, God loves a cheerful giver.
He loves a cheerful giver.
I learned that in my church.
The only dollar amount I ever known in the Bible was you give 10%. 10%. It doesn't say, and it just says give 10%. That's what it said. Now, the Marvin Sapp joint, and he
Say, man, hey, ushers, deacons, lock the door.
Yo, my man,
Lock the door.
Lock the door. Now, Snoop said lock the door. Marvin Sapp did not say lock the door. He did not say lock the door. Stop lying on that man. That's a man of God. Stop lying on that man.
He did not say that.
He did not say lock the door. Now, what he did, I don't agree with it, but that's not for me. That's not for me to cast down judgment on
Right.
it. It's not for us to cast, but just say we just get that shit off our chest.
Real rap.
All right.
Real rap.
Will Smith. Let's talk about Will Smith.
Oh, Brother Smith.
So last week, Will Smith decided, well, I'm not going to say Will Smith. Mayor Sherelle Parker, for the mayor of Philadelphia, decided to dedicate street to Will Smith.
Mm-hmm. What street was it? You know what street was? 59th Street, right?
59th Street. 59th Street, right in front of Overbrook High School. Shout out the Overbrook High School class of 2005.
Damn. That's the wrong sound effect.
This about
Yeah, shout out.
2005. Now, the question I want to rise, the question I want to bring up. Now, is this dedication and this street naming overdue? Number one. And is this to clean up his rep from smacking the shit out of Chris Rock?
That's a tough one. That's a hard question.
I don't think it's a hard question.
I think it is. I don't think two got to do with each other.
Yes, they do.
You think so?
Yes, they do.
Why you say that? I don't think the two got to do it. I don't think that shit got shit to do with shit.
All right, number one, I think it's long overdue.
For him to get a street name.
For him to get a street named after him.
I could live with that.
But it's a twofold. There's a twofold answer from me on why it's long overdue. Now, again, you like to poke around with my age. Summertime, all that good stuff. But growing up, I'm from West Philly. I'm an Overbrook High graduate. I actually grew up down the street from where my mom's house is down the street from where they dedicated the street. I grew up down the street from Overbrook High School. Long before that, there was a long stint and period of time where you did not see Will Smith in Philadelphia at all.
Makes sense.
He was always known to be from Philadelphia.
Yeah.
But he was never in Philadelphia at all.
Yeah, because grew up in West Philadelphia. He was born and raised on the playground where he spent most of his days.
He wasn't even in there.
Oh, shit.
His mother at one point still stayed. I don't know if she still does. His mother and aunts and all them still stayed in West Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a period of time where you had rappers like Cassidy. I grew up all my life in Philadelphia. Never seen Will Smith.
Cassidy.
Those was rap lines back in the day.
Right.
I think the fact that it took this long. So let's. I wish I would have did more research before I even did this question, but it's been at least 20 or 30 years since the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was on the air.
Mm-hmm.
The original.
Yeah.
Not that bullshit.
Not Bel-Air.
Not that bullshit.
I don't call it Bel-Air. I like it. It's not bullshit. I think they just conformed it with the times. It's not bullshit. I like it. It's not bullshit. They conformed it with the times and the audiences that's watching TV now. That's all.
Please stop.
They made it more like a drama type of thing.
We don't need it to
it's
be
good.
It was never a drama show. It was always a comedy show. It was always a comedy show. So I'm gonna say,
but it had real takes in it.
It had real takes in it every now and then. But majority of the show is comedy. Majority of the show is comedy.
Yeah, it's still good though. Like if it had no affiliation with the Fresh Prince, it would still be good.
It made his name. It amplified his name. It was a comedy show.
It was.
It was more so for comedy. Back then, you had Will Smith, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and he used to go back and forth with Martin.
Yeah, Martin.
And we didn't have a lot of black shows on back then. Mm-hmm. That's another conversation for another podcast. But I think 30 years later is too long for him to get a dedication ceremony for a street. Number one, I do believe, and I do feel as though this is to help clean up his rep because he has nothing else to do. He can't go to the Academy Awards for 10 plus years, which he is, 2 years in?
Yeah.
He can't go back to the Academy Awards for 10 years. So he got 8 years before he can appear or even be in a ballot for Academy Award.
Right.
So he has nothing else to do. So you see him doing what? He just dropped the album the day after the dedication. Mm-hmm. I am the biggest Will Smith fan there probably is. Mm-hmm. So don't get me wrong. Like this is a dig and a dive at that man. I love that man to death. I believe in him. Also, I don't like a lot of the comments ever made about that man, about him being this and that. I don't like that.
Yeah.
I'm from West Philly, born and raised on the playground. It's not where I spent most of my day. But I feel as though him getting that street named after him took too long.
I mean, I can agree with that. I feel you on that, and I can agree with that. I don't see the correlation with that with the Chris Rock situation. Like, I feel as though this should have happened or would have happened regardless of that. No. If anything, it slowed it down, but like he had to buy time.
No.
You don't think so?
No.
I think he had to. I don't think him smacking the shit out of Chris Rock has anything to do with him getting a street name. I think if anything, it prolonged how long it took for him to get the street named after him.
I think him slapping the shit out of Chris Rock slowed down what he had going on in his career.
Yeah, 100%.
Which gave him the opportunity to get the street named after him. Which gave him the opportunity to put a new album out.
But he didn't declare to get a street name. They chose him.
No, that ain't how that shit really go. Though.
It ain't like he was. We don't know, but you think he went down there begging for them to give him a street name?
Listen, I'm gonna say it like this: I grew up my whole life in the city of Philadelphia.
Right.
You ever seen the show Living Single?
Yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Maxine Shaw.
Yeah.
You know who that is? Mm-hmm. Did you know she was from Philadelphia?
Yeah.
Okay.
My mom watched that shit.
Do you think she deserved to get it? I'm not to say undeserving, not deserving. Did you know she was from the city of Philadelphia?
Only because of my mom.
Only because of your mom. Right?
I wasn't doing research to know that, no.
All right. I grew up in the city of Philadelphia. I watched. She was even on the Cosby Show at one point. Mm-hmm. She started out. I remember on the Cosby Show before that.
Yeah.
But for her to get a street name before Will, what all Will has done, Will's known for doing for the city.
She didn't smack the shit out of nobody.
But everywhere Will went, he glorified the city of Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. Everything Will did, he glorified the city of Philadelphia. He gave back to the city and community of Philadelphia.
That's his choice.
The young lady, Maxine Shaw, whatever, I don't even know her real name. Mm-hmm. I have never seen her speak about the city of Philadelphia, and she's from Philadelphia, and she got a street named after her before Will. I don't agree with that.
What does that mean, though? What does that mean? Like, what does that mean, though? Like, you being, like... I don't agree with just getting a street name after you just because of how successful you became afterwards.
It's always going to be because of how it's going to be.
But
it's not
why?
always going to be.
Like, I wonder. I'm curious to know how many people turn that shit down because just because I'm born here and from here, it gotta have.
It's
if
not
that's
because
something you want, then yeah, take it. But I don't see the big deal.
I'm not even going to say it's just because of how successful you are. It's because of what you do for your community. I'm going to say it's because of what you do for your community and how you hold up your community. Will Smith has done nothing but hold up the community of Philadelphia his whole career.
Right. But outside of just that, right? I guess my question is, what's the big deal? What's the big deal having a street named after you from the place that you're born?
Because they can't take your name from off that street. Yeah. Your name will live on. That's like going in the Hall of Fame for the NFL. That's higher than going in the Hall of Fame in the NFL or the NBA.
So let me ask: Do Key got the key to the city? Do Will got the key to the city?
He's been gotten that years ago.
I think that's enough.
That's been years ago. And then a lot of times when they do the key to the city, they also declare a certain day, whatever day they want to make it.
Will Smith Day?
They might say it's Will Smith. Yeah, like that. They might say it's Will Smith Day. But do anybody ever recognize what day that today is Will Smith's day?
No, not until the person passes. Stuff like that don't happen until somebody passes.
I'm about to make a sharp left turn. I'm about to make a sharp left turn.
Bernie Mac?
No.
Oh.
No, I'm about to make a real sharp left turn.
Go ahead.
So, Mr. Diddy.
Okay.
With all he's going through right now.
Yeah.
Right? One of the things that was taken away from him was his key to the city.
Yeah.
And his Sean Combs Day.
Yeah.
In the city of New York.
Yeah. So
a lot of times when they give that out, that's in correlation with what they give. But then when you go into like what the situation he's going through,
mm-hmm.
they take all that back from him.
Yeah.
They take them street signs down.
Mm-hmm.
But if you an upstanding gentleman and you doing what you supposed, they did it to dude Bill Cosby.
Mm-hmm.
In the city of Philadelphia. Like Temple at one point was Bill Cosby's campus.
Right.
He did the commencement ceremony every year. They had a building named after him. The city of Philadelphia had a Bill Cosby Day. I don't think it was ever like exalted in practice on a yearly basis. But when all that stuff came down, when last time you heard anything about this dude?
Who, Brother Bill?
Yeah.
Shit. Since everything went down, I think he prefers it that way. But but he's still being brought up. When you start talking about the conversation of like comedians and from people from back in the day that laid the fucking groundwork for shit, Bill's name is always going to be brought up. If you truly, genuinely talking about that topic, his name's going to get brought up. Regardless of the things that went down later on down the road, name's gonna get brought up.
But a lot of times when I hear Bill's name when it gets brought up in the realms of comedy, because I am a big fan of the comedy practice.
Mm-hmm.
It's people like Seinfeld that bring up, yo, we knew Bill was doing this stuff back in the day.
Yeah.
And nobody on that. We used to sit in the back of the club. You know Bill be messing around with the women like that.
And what did they do back then about it?
They try to stay away from it.
They ain't do shit about it. They just as guilty. If they knew strongly that much about it, and we don't want to, and we still hold their name up in lights, they just as fucked up. They just as fucked up. If you knew that shit was going on back then and you ain't do shit about it, then you just as fucked up.
You worse.
But ain't nobody gonna say it.
In my opinion, you worse. But back to the Will Smith shit, because we don't want motherfuckers.
Yeah, we gonna wait left after you brought up Diddy.
Yeah.
Wait left after bringing up Diddy.
But I feel as though this is a part of him cleaning up his image for smacking the shit out of Chris Rock.
See, but then when you say something like that,
before you go too far.
No. Go ahead.
That man was not wrong for smacking the shit out of Chris Rock.
Not even talking about the smack, just talking about the clean up his image. The motherfucker should have been had the street named after him. But I don't want to take this moment as now as, okay, now we're gonna get the street named after him to try to, push that shit to the side or act like that shit ain't happened. If he should have been had the street named after him, this shit should have been happened. And then it shouldn't be all right, well, now this is an opportunity to give you this street name so that we could dust that shit under the rug and then people in the world can move on. Us as your fans and us as people watching can move on from that and see you trying to recreate your image in these lights.
It's more so of a thing they trying to just change the subject.
Yeah, you pivoting.
You
let it be what it's gonna be. On up to this shit.
You Ryan Clark in the thing.
Yeah, let it be what it's gonna be. You move on. Listen, this is just a little tiny stain. Just a little tiny stain on my legacy. But we're gonna move on from that shit.
But
There's been a lot of
wrong for that shit.
Regardless of him being right or wrong, that the situation and the timing was wrong.
No,
if he would have smacked the shit out, if he was at a gala or a bar or anywhere else on a set of a movie or something and smacked the shit out of Chris Rock, cool. Or if he would have went up stage and made a public announcement, but you don't physically smack the shit out of somebody, it's gonna be people that's gonna be rooting for that because he'd be like, yo man, I'm about to smack the shit out of you. And you know what he said? I'm about to go smack the shit out of him, and he did. And people gonna root for that. But it's also a time and a place because now everybody that gotta get on that stage after you, and this is your big night, they're not gonna remember that shit. All they're gonna talk about is Will Smith smacked the shit out of Chris Rock while I was getting my award. Now, every time my award gets brought up, that smack is going to get brought up too. Oh, congratulations on your award. So how did you feel when Will went up there and smacked? Why is this the conversation? Let's talk about me and my moment right now.
See, I'm a different type of nigga.
No,
you
man.
bring that shit up to me, I'm like, yo, he really smacked the shit.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like you gonna say, oh, he smacked shit out of me. Okay, that's what's up. Let's talk about my moment though. This might be not only my first time, maybe my last time getting one of these. And now it's a tad bit tarnished now because somebody went on stage. Not just anybody. It'd be different if it was one of these up and comers that was getting an award or somebody that was just in attendance and that went down. A random motherfucker running on stage and smacking him. No, this is Will fucking Smith going up there. Big name in this category right here. Big name, prestigious name. And you smacking the shit out of not just anybody, Chris Rock. Another big name. And then I gotta go on stage after this happens. After this transpires, I gotta go on stage and get my award. And then interviews that come after that, because people want the views and shit, is gonna get brought up every time somebody talks to me about when I got my award. Moving forward, everybody that got an award that night is gonna remember that, one, I got my award, and two, Will Smith smacked the shit out of Chris Rock. So now you done fucked it up for me because I can never forget that, and I always got to remember that Will Smith smacked the shit out of Chris Rock every time.